Sir. So as a manager's role, if I look at the passion points, the last 2 points is something which I feel is the manager's role. That failure insurance or safety net is something which a manager should provide, and he should discuss the goals and mutually agree to it. Uh, Managers and team leaders here in this discussion, a question for you. What about the top other 8 points, 6 points which are there, 7 points from approach to energy? Is there a manager's role there to play for your team member to have a good approach, to believe in self, to deliver commitment, discipline, enthusiasm, energy? Do you think manager can play a role? And if yes, what would it be? What should you really do so as to, or do you, can we go back to our bosses complaining or the HR complaining, yaar is bande mein passion hi nahi hai kaam ka, give me another, and keep searching for a person who has a passion to do your work or your organization's work? What should we do? That's the question.
The
Is
beauty,
there a manager's role to develop the other top few things, and what it should be? What should be the manager doing so that his team member achieves that? You could unmute and speak in 30 seconds if possible. If you want to give in your answers, it would help. I would want to interrupt you in between. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'll take some other views as well.
yeah, absolutely.
And Professor Bose gives us a few important points about the creating an environment, creating a structure. And when you talk about environment, the manager's behavior is one very important point which comes in, right? And if you look at a few responses on the chat as well, so that the manager can focus on strength areas of the member and not the weaknesses, is a very important point which Shobhanita has put in, that as managers, I need to focus on member strength. Look at one more input which has come in is to look at discipline, failure, insurance, goal understanding mutually. Yes, being approachable, that's another important point which I see here coming up. Assurance, bringing in understanding part of it. One last thought, and then we take this ahead to the next few P's. We are at 3 P's now. We have 4 more P's. uh, when we look at people to perform passionately, uh, one angle which Newton's third law, Deepak Da mentioned a few minutes back, comes to me as that passion attracts passion. If I, as a manager, am passionate about the work and the people around me, I remember of Deepak Da inspiring people working for him and working with him with a very wonderful tool, which I call it nowadays, and I'm going to just reveal that tool to you all without his permission, is that he finds strengths in people and appreciates them in every conversation which he has. Imagine in the day he might be meeting 20 different people, and 20 people, when he communicates, he has one small element of it and he speaks of it, and he inspires them through the strengths and talks to them about their strengths in every conversation which he has. Why I say that is, even today when we started this webinar, before I switched on my video, I had my company's logo looking there, and he took that 10 seconds of time to appreciate that logo and talk about it. Now that's passion. What is that passion? The passion to identify strength and acknowledge it of the other person. This is one of it, and there can be many of it which we as people passionate enough to do. If a manager says 3 से 5 फोन मत किया कर, आई एम बिजी, मैं बोर्ड रूम में हूँ, डोंट टॉक टू मी, सुबह आने के बाद में क्या कर रहा है, व्हाट आर यू डूइंग ओवर हियर, and is this the way you communicate? And if the manager goes on in more of a authoritarian view, though it is required many a times, but always does it just out of criticism, he's not going to derive passion. And that's
I
something
think
which
a
we need to
comment which
look
has
at.
been made by Paulomi Datta, and I'm seeing Paulomi attend something from my side after a long, long ages. And I remember, I'm sure Paulomi will agree, the first time he wrote an advertising brief, and you received some appreciation from me, if you recall. And did it motivate you to look at advertising brief with a much greater passion than when you?
Absolutely, absolutely, Deepak. As I'm attending it, I'm recalling those days myself. So definitely it's a key. It encourages the team members a lot, and it also helps to understand your potential,
No,
because that was something I have never done, but it gave me a lot of
exactly.
encouragement.
So I realized that you did not know, you were not trained to write an advertising brief, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
Then I trained you to do the advertising brief. But when the advertising brief was created, the entire credit went to you. That's the key.
Yes.
That's the key. So the point that I'm trying to make is, and here it is not about the type of organization that we work for. The organization may have its own way of looking at people. The organization may or may not have structured HR. But what's stopping each one of us at an individual level to follow what we are talking of? And that's what I've been trying to impress upon all of us, that we often find an excuse for not doing a lot of things which we know will benefit us, under the guard that I am working for an organization which doesn't believe in it. But that doesn't stop from how you manage your team. If you can create a greater purpose in your team, deliver better results for whatever you are doing in the organization, would any organization mind that? Nobody. But that is going to actually help us evolve as individuals. And I'm not talking only managers. It is like I may be a manager to somebody, but I also have a manager above me. So the point that I'm trying to make is, this is all about myself. What can I do for regarding my potential? How do I unearth it? What is it that I bring it to be passionate about? You know, if you are doing something which you're not passionate about, it's all about burden. Gurcharan Das had said that look for a job which you enjoy and you will never be again going to work, because you will be enjoying it. So it's very simple as that. It's about passion. Sachin Tendulkar, if he did not enjoy that hot sun of Shivaji Park and the relentless practice that he did, he wouldn't have become Sachin Tendulkar. And there is a classic example that he had a classmate who was more potential than him in terms of potential, but it is the passion for the game, the discipline for the game, the enthusiasm and energy that made Sachin what he became. Kamli had success, but he didn't get a success that Sachin could.